Hey, so video 4, are you keeping up with our Philips iu22? It's the fourth video. Remember, we just did a quick exam before. We learned how to freeze the screen, how to look at the image. Now we're going to do a bit more with the image and with making the image a little bit better if we want to. I'll show you a couple of fundamentals. Here's our screen that we had last time. Remember, we'd just seen Fred with his gallbladder, and then we'd exited out of his screen. We ended his exam when I pushed that button, and we got this screen. Now we've got a screen, and if I want to get rid of that screen, remember we've got the cursor, so we've got a close button there. So you just move the cursor down and then left click like that, and that closes the screen. And then we're just back to the previous screen, which is the transducer I had before, which is your curvy linear one. And you can see it's curvy linear because it's L93, and it was set looking at veins because we were looking at my neck. So, and that's the same probe as that. See, it's still got the same name. And you can tell that's the probe that's active because you look at the screen and put your finger on it at the same time. See, you get that. See that shadowing going across? So you know, so I'm just putting my finger on the probe so I can see what it is. So say we went back and got another image. We use the same one. I'm just using this probe. I'll put it back on my neck. Then we go back to the carotid artery maybe. There it is there. I'm just going to freeze that. Oh, actually what I'll do before I do, I'll show you. See down the side here, you've got numbers. You've got these little marks that go down, and it says 4.0. So that's the number of centimeters, so that's the depth. That's your depth of field. And you can adjust the depth by turning a button. I'm just taking this off my neck so I can turn the button. So that's a very important knob. It's very easy to find. There it is there, depth. So you can change, and I'm just going to twiddle the depth button now. See, it's at 4 centimeters, so from here to here is 4 centimeters. So you don't even need to measure things if you just want a rough idea. You say you had a structure there, you could tell just by looking at half a centimeter, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3, 4. So it gives you an idea. But if I were to twiddle this knob, just rotate it, then watch what happens. See, now the depth is less. That means you get more surface in the screen. Or if I wanted to go deeper, sorry, it's not very good. I'll turn it the other way. See, it's gone to 8, 9, 10. So much deeper, looking deeper into the patient. That's important if you're looking at the tummy, say, and you want somebody who's a bit bigger compared to the last patient, and you want to get deeper in. So that's very important. The other thing to notice, and just to say about depth, if you're looking at a structure, like say we go back to my neck, if you're looking at a structure, you want the structure that you're looking at to fill the screen. So you can see that that's quite good. You see my carotid artery pumping away there, but it might be that I'm not really interested in anything that's below it. So that's all just dead space. All that space down there is just dead space. So what you do is you decrease the depth. I can't do it with my hands, but I'm just going to do that by adjusting that way. So just decrease the depth, and then you see everything's bigger, right? So see how it fills more of the screen? That's what you want. You don't want a gallbladder on the very top of the screen and then a whole lot of dead space below. So you want to adjust the depth to make your item, it might be the uterus, it might be a ligament, or it might be a vein or a lump or an abscess, fill the screen. That's a rule of ultrasound. So that's the depth button. The other thing, you see down there, see that line there with the thing with the arrows there, that goes up and down. I'll show you. So that goes up and down. And whatever is on the screen, sort of opposite where that is, that's where the machine is trying to focus for you. So that's the focus button, which is here. Not far from the depth button. It's the focus button. put all that, and as you do, this goes up and down. Very simple. And so you just put that opposite where you want most of your interest is, when you want to see something a wee bit clearer, and it will just look a little bit clearer as you look at it. So it's pretty cool. So that's very important as well. So going through all the buttons, the other way you can make things bigger, say if I go back, and I'm just going to go back to there, hang on, I'll just reduce it. I'll just show you just by contrast. Say if I made the depth, say I'm still looking at my neck, and I just made the depth really deep. See how it just fills the top of the screen, but the screen goes all the way down to there, and there's all wasted space, and you don't get as much clarity there. Okay, just to really emphasize that. What you can do, just while we're in the mood, is next to your focus button is your, sorry, where are we? Focus button is there, your color button. So if you push that, I'll push it now, like that, and then yeah, you get that sort of square thing there, and you can adjust it by using your mouse and your key. You have to, it's a bit intuitive, so you can push that and then you can make it sort of bigger and smaller, just depending which way you move the mouse. Right, so say I put it there, we'll just adjust our depth back again. See, it's really deep at the moment. Adjust it back to about there, and then put it back on. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Then we got some blood vessels. If you got too much colour in there, see, it's way too much colour. That means that you just need to turn it down a bit. There's the colour button. Just turn it anti-clockwise, and it'll take a bit of that colour out. So you just got, then you get a more focused colour. See, so that, so I'm not getting great pictures. But if you move, I'm moving the probe now. If you move the probe with colour, the probe is looking for movement. So if you're moving the probe, everything will just go blue and red because you're moving. So you want to hold still on the vessel, and then you can see basically anything that moves, which is generally blood, unless you're looking at the bladder, and you can see the bladder jets very easily coming from the ureter. You with me? Yeah. So very important. So there's the colour, and you can turn it up and give a bit more colour or a bit less colour. That's quite nice. You don't have to use the colour a lot, but the more you ultrasound, the more you start using it for different things, seeing movement. Or if you see a structure that looks round, like is that a cyst, or maybe it's a blood vessel, you don't know whether to put a needle into it or not, just put the colour on and you'll see if it's a blood vessel, obviously. Yeah, because a cyst is full of fluid but it's not moving, just like the bladder. And so then you won't see any movement, you won't see any colour. So I'll take the colour off just by pushing the colour button again, just like that. There is another button we won't worry about now, that's for power Doppler, don't worry about that. Right, let's go to the zoom, right, see zoom. So I'll just go back and make a picture on the screen, right, of my neck again, then I'll freeze it. So now it's frozen, so I can take the probe off and muck around with it. So if I wanted to look a bit more closely at that area, I could put the zoom button on. Actually, to do that, I can only do that when it's not frozen. So you just have to imagine, you see, they have to take the probe off to be able to hit the zoom button because they haven't got enough hands. So imagine I wanted to look more closely at that area, or you might be looking at the uterus and seeing something small there. Then you go to your zoom button, you push it like that, and it puts this little circle around the area, or square, the area that you want to magnify. So that's still the same picture, right? But if I push the zoom button once more, I'll just do that quickly, it will just give you what's the contents of that green square. So I'll just do it and back on. See how it's all enlarged now, so you get this really specific look, and you can adjust your focus if you want. Still adjust your depth a wee bit. And then if you want to go back to the previous view, just push the zoom button again. You can sort of zoom out again. Like that. Okay. Zoom button is super useful for looking at things with a bit more, you want to make them bigger, see them a bit more clearly. Okay, so going through the buttons. So we've been through most of these on this side. The 2D one is what you push if you just want to get back to your basic normal view, and you've been pushing a lot of buttons, you've got colour, you've got maybe you used M mode or other modes, or accidentally pushed some buttons. You can either turn the machine on and off, off and on, reset everything, or if you push that 2D button, just like that, it will bring you back to just like a normal view. And then if you look at the 2D button, if you look at that and you think, it's just too much white in there, I want it a bit more black and not so white, just putting it simplistic, then you can just twiddle the 2D button. If I turn the 2D button way down, that's the same view. See, it's dark. If I turn it up a bit, you can start to see things. Turn it way up, it's too much, right? So you've got to find a balance. It's easier if you've got it on there all the time. Yeah, so still too much. Yeah, so that's what the 2D button is. Very important, just to bring you back. If you lose yourself in your study, just push the 2D button. Okay. Print you won't need to use because there's no printing options on this machine. Sorry. Then you've got your these sort of gain knobs. I will just leave them in the middle. You've got a CPA knob. Don't worry about that. You've got an M mode knob, which is very easy. I won't go through it, but you can do it if you want. CW, don't worry about that one. Capture, don't worry about that. That's for recording a short video. You can figure that out. And the pointer is if you want the pointer on the screen, but it doesn't seem to be, just push that button and the pointer came up there. Okay, and then you can move it around, put a label on. Okay, that's probably enough. There's only one more to go after this. Looking at some measurements, so I'll sign off here. Right, straight into the final one. This is video 5 of the Philips iu22. We've used pretty much all the knobs. We know how to find the keyboard that's hidden under there. We know how to move the mouse around. We know how to find the pointer. If we lose the pointer, how to find it. Hang on, so I'm just trying. Oh, there we go. So push the pointer button. Remember that. We've done all these buttons. Let's go up here. Say you remember we did that Fred gallbladder before, and you thought, I just want to go back and have a look on the screen at it. I want to bring it up again. Then you go to report. And you push that. I should put it on the screen as I do it, and then it just brings up. Oh, that wasn't very useful. Hang on, I possibly need to end the previous exam. Sorry. Yeah, I'm just. Okay. Oh, sorry, got it wrong. It's not the report button. Forget the report. Okay, I'm talking about the review button. If you push the review button, then you get a list of all the scans you've done. There's a few hundred in here actually in this machine. And at the very top, if you've saved it, we should see Fred. Why Fred is not there, I don't know. But if say that were Fred. Then you just double click on it, you move the mouse, double click with your left mouse button, and it should bring up the images that whatever I was making at that time. You with me? Yeah, so that's what the review button is for, is to go and look at. And then remember, if you want to go back to your scanning mode, you just push the 2D button there. Push 2D. And nothing happens. Okay, so maybe you have to click on close there. So you move your mouse there, move the mouse down, there it is, and just left click, and then you take it back to that screen. Sorry, it's a bit garbled there. So that's it. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to do a quick measurement. That's your caliper button, which is pretty fun. don't worry too much about the calc button. Calc button's good, you can use it for obstetric things, and you'll be able to work it out. The caliper button, you just want to measure something on the screen, like how long is a crown rump length, or how deep is an abscess, or how far under the skin is a foreign body, or whatever. Your caliper. Just remember though, you can get a bit of an idea of depth just by looking at your screen, because you can see that this is 4 centimeters from here to here. So you'd have an idea just as you were scanning how deep, even how big something was. But if you wanted specifics, and then you can measure again later, compare, for example, then you want to use your caliper button. So I'm just going to go back to the old carotid look. There it is there. I'm just going to push the freeze button. So you freeze the image, then you push the caliper button. Remember? Caliper. So push that, and then you get that little square coming up, and you can move it around and just put it at one edge, and then you left click your mouse button, right, left click, and that holds that still, and then you've got, I don't know if you can see, so it leaves it with a white button, and then you move a white square, and then you move the caliper around to where you want to measure, and then there's your measurement, and it's down the left hand bottom. So 0.7 centimeters, that's how the diameter of my carotid artery. So that's just an example, but so you want to measure something, that's how you do it. Now I think that's probably enough information. Other things you're going to work out yourself, or you're going to email me, or likely you'll be able to figure some things out. There's a whole lot more buttons and fancy things on this machine, but I think for you just want to start getting used to doing it. Start getting used to looking at the liver. What's the liver look like? Look at the aorta. If you want to, you can screen the aortas of all your patients over 75, and you'll be able to measure it, just like we've measured my carotid. You can measure your 75-year-old's aorta, so yep, you don't have a AAA forming, you're good for another 2 years, and put them on your recall, and then you can call them back, and you can screen them yourself, once you're comfortable with that examination, which of course is part of the FAST exam. So just start doing tons of scans, have fun with it, and I wish you guys all the best. See ya.